Oh, cool.
Actually,
Yeah, no, it's cool. I can edit this too. We're recording right now, but I'll edit it out.
okay.
That was cool. So here we are. What's up, dreamers?
Yeah, so I'm here to talk about LTD with you, the Living the Dream project. I have been a member of the Telegram since pretty much day one of when it opened. SHARBI has partnered with LTD, and I've been, over the months, become very close with Ship Dream. He's just a great person to work with, and someone who is genuinely awesome to root for and work with and support. So when I was asked to be a part of the LTD team, I jumped at it, and I'm super excited to be a speaker on the team and for the team. And you'll probably see me and my face a little bit more than you'd like to sometimes, but I'll be a lot on the spaces, probably doing some interviews and doing some speaking for the project. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, we'll touch on that. And thank you for being here. You're welcome, by the way. I appreciate you making the time. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the partnerships, the people on the team. I'm sorry, there's freaking mosquitoes. These skeeters keep on getting me. There's a lot of good people on the team, and that's one of the things that I look for. I mean, obviously, people like to think they look at that, but if you don't know the people on the team and you just know what they do, you don't have very much insight into what they've done in the past. And the people on the team and partnered projects, from what I see, and the ones that I know personally, have all had a good history of delivering for the most part. So that's a great thing to see when you're looking at partnerships and community members there. So what's your personal experience with LTD? Awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and what's awesome about those partnerships and about the team is really just how many supporters have come forward, right? And you have people with experience across all different avenues of crypto. We actually started doing the Living the Dream spaces, where it's like a bi-weekly spaces for Shibarium. And the Dream a Little Dream, we've named it a couple of different things. The Dream a Little Dream, the Living the Dream spaces, but it's the Shibarium spaces, and we started doing it twice a week. And we put together this team to do spaces. And I mean, they're all stars, right? Like, there are people that have this incredible experience. We have Shib Bender and Crypto Queen, and they brought me in, and I mean, we really just have this team, and I mean, we called it the Dream Team, right? Like, our little spaces group was the Dream Team. And then they started this project, and they start bringing in these people from all over crypto, and people with just amazing experience. And I mean, we kind of have to rename our spaces group, because really, like, the team is the Dream Team. Like, that's the Living the Dream team is the Dream Team, right? Like, it's pretty cool.
All right, who's Michael Jordan? That's all I got to know. Who's Scottie Pippen?
Right? You know what? With all the people coming, all the celebrities coming into crypto, who knows? Who knows?
I mean, let's talk about Mothercoin some other time, right? Wow. What's your personal experience when it comes to LTD? How did you get involved? I know that you just actually explained how you got involved via partnerships. What's your personal experience with it so far, and where do you see it go?
Yeah, so really, it's crazy how this all started. So SHARBI, back before Shibarium launched, started doing hosting spaces, and we just do like project AMAs for projects that we're looking at possibly joining up to Shibarium and launching there. And SHARBI had 20,000 followers at the time, so we got a lot of interest and really started building kind of a network on Shibarium. And during that time, we launched Shibarium University, which is an educational platform. It's since been renamed Cypher University because the creator wanted to broaden, the expansion on it. But really, I did a video review of Shib's Dreams NFT project, and from that, started talking to ShipDream a lot more. And he has just been amazing with support of SHARBI, support of what we're doing, and really, just a great friend. And, at this point, I know him personally, and it's just something that's kind of evolved over time, where that support to SHARBI led to support of us for his project, and now being part of that team, part of the team. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious. Where do you guys see yourselves working together? How do you guys see yourselves working together past partnerships, as far as maybe your projects collaborating? Is there any plans for that, or anything you can share with us there? And I totally get it if you can't. But is there any plans to intersect?
So we've collaborated a lot, even just with the NFT side and with ShibDream. So ShibDream is the owner of ShibArmy.co. It's the biggest Shib news website. He's actually put SHARBI banners on the website. He's helped us break a bunch of news. And from our side, a lot of our community has joined the Dream community. If you look in there, you see a lot of SHARBI. SHARBI members are mods. We've done some artwork. Our raid team helps out sometimes. And, we support each other, right? And support each other fully, right? You can go into the SHARBI Telegram and talk ShibDream all day long, and I'll be sitting there, talking about it as well. So, he's done staking for SHARBI with the NFTs. And, with the project side, I think that awareness, so SHARBI is on 3 chains. We're on Ethereum, Solana, Shibarium. We have a little bit of exposure on that side that, possibly, Dream doesn't have, where his focus has always been, ShibArmy, right? ShibArmy, if you're ShibArmy, ShibDream, living the dream at this point. Expanding that reach, to other chains and introducing people to Shibarium will be one of the biggest goals for me, personally, through SHARBI, through living the dream, right? Like, I think that's where we can make the biggest difference, is really, bringing the projects together in certain ways to introduce more people to Shibarium.
Yeah, and that's really important. I mean, that's one of my big things. I've been a part of a lot of projects that, they've implemented buy and sell taxes to burn SHIB, and, essentially contribute to the community. Sorry, I lost my word for a second. My 8-month was up all last night, dude. My brain is like fried right now. Contribute to the community that way. I mean, we all own their NFTs. We all own their tokens. And community tokens within their ecosystem. So why not burn the token? Why not support them? Why not show love? I get it. I don't agree sometimes with people always using one chain or one ecosystem as their one-stop shop. That's never, I would never recommend that for anybody, because there's so much out there. I won't go into it, but I'm very into TON right now, community as well. And I always urge communities to look into TON, because we're all building there. That's our community engagement. There's a lot of seamless tools that can be integrated in your community as well. So never just go all in, and I don't think that's happening here. I just think it's the beginning. But just in general, on that note, always got to open up a little bit. So right. Just dream about it, think about it, put it out there, make it reality.
Ethereum. He's launching on Ethereum. He's doing cross-chain staking to Shibarium. So,
yes.
You have your bigger crowd on Ethereum. You have your cross-chain staking, which makes people look into Shibarium. That is the goal, right? Early. It's so raw. Like it's working great. The gas is super cheap, and it really just needs that adoption and some people building some great tools on it, which is starting to happen. And I think this is going to be one of the main driving projects of that adoption, even just through cross-chain staking.
I think so too. I really do. It's a household name, so they got that going for them. I do think the position is being squandered a bit, because if you have so much power, which I do think SHIB does at this point, I don't think it's being utilized to its fullest extent. Because they're huge, they're big, they've got a lot going on. I own so much metaverse land, Shiboshi's, been in it for a minute, so like I totally get it. I just, even Ian from MSwap building a lot of the tools that you're speaking of too, he's doing a lot of that work on the back end as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. So I know they're constantly building.
We're partners with MarsSwap as well. SHIB Dream is partners with MarsSwap, so is SHARBI. Yep. So yeah, very familiar with Ian, love his energy. The first time we actually did a video interview with him, and we got on the call and saw everything they had built with the MarsSwap decks. Like, you could visually see, the two of us that were doing the interview, you could visually see us, like, our jaws going, ah. It was great.
Yeah, when those guys get to work, man, they're in grind mode for sure. I was just talking to him yesterday about doing an interview. He's got a lot going on with the new stuff that's happening. I'm not going to drop any alpha, but I'm sure a lot of people know if you're in the community. Anyways, yeah, back to LTD. I think, what do you think the impact of LTD will be here in the near future after the DAO comes? Let's say Q3 of 2024, that portion of the roadmap, with the DAO drop and such.
Yeah. So I think that the best part of this, right, is that, SHIB Dream is that type of person that he's like, I don't even want to be the leader, right? Like, I don't want leadership. What I want to do is bring adoption. I want to run this project and get it started and really set up everything for it to be taken over. That's what he wants, right? Like, he's like, I just want to focus on the things that I love, right? And that's the people and the networking. And for him, it's the advertising side and the marketing piece, because that's where his roots are. So, I think that that's the best part of the DAO. And I think that it was set up a lot like K9 Finance, right? I feel like K9 Finance was a great model for how a DAO should work, what it should look like. And you'll see a lot of similarities with this project and how it's launched and how the DAO works. I think you'll see a lot of similarities between this and K9 Finance, because they've set forth a model that's so good, right? Like, when you see something and it's like, man, that's awesome. They're doing such a great job. It's hard to say, and I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same, but you'll see a lot of similarities, I think. And what the goal is to basically set the project up to run, and then be run by, your centralized DAO group, which is a elected group that, really work together to run the project and all the branches of the project. So, I do think that the DAO legalization is already in process. So, we're ahead of the game. There's so many plans. This is one thing about SHIB Dream is I guess he doesn't come from the crypto world, right? Like, he comes from real world marketing. So, like, when you look at, living the dream, you're going to see a lot of effort put into tying Web3 into Web2, right? Into the real world. And that's the dream, so to say, is really finding ways to tie it together more as much as possible.
I think so too. And, I've said this on my other videos, that I see, this hasn't been mentioned on their white paper or site or anything like that, but I totally see them as a B2B tool, for collections here. They've really hit business to consumer first, and they're tackling that easy peasy, and they're building their core. And after that, there's going to be a lot of collections builders coming in, which are already in this community. So automatically you're simultaneously going B2C and B2B, business to business, and you're offering tools. The more seamless you do that, and depending on your subscription service and the services you're providing and how you structure that, which I have a lot of ideas, obviously, You could really benefit your community. You utilize that as a deflationary mechanism for your token and bring real value as well to your community and the people trying to build. There's a lot of tools out there right now that can really help monetize channels, even in Telegram overnight. And I'm not talking about like bots and fake people, stuff like that, real stuff. So, and that's exactly right up their alley. So what do you think about them going business to business and using a business to business model in the future?
You know what? I probably can't say too much here, but I do know that the advertising platform of this is probably the biggest part. It is probably the biggest part, and it is what SHIB Dreams, it is where his expertise lies. So bringing in real world marketing, especially to, metaverse, looking at the metaverse side, bringing in real world marketing, the advertising platform is going to be the backbone of, the revenue generation of this project. There's going to be lots of bells and whistles. I think that there's going to be tons of additions with utility, but that will be, the biggest backbone, the biggest strength, I think, of LTD going forward. So you're right on.
And I have no alpha either. I just looked at it and I swear I was like, right? I see this. That's good. I like that. I kind of got the idea too when I was talking about it yesterday with one of the team members. I was trying to get some information, just to talk about, I guess, in the interview. He's like, we're working very hard on development right now. There's a lot going on. I wish I could give you something, but we can't drop anything right now. And I was like, all right, I like that. I like the sound of that, because it's real. After the 9-minute sellout, like messages went from like instant responses to like maybe an hour later. I'm like, I get it. Like, you guys are hella busy right now. Like, totally. I love that. Like, if you have all the time in the world to talk to me all day, you ain't working. So
that's right. And you know what? If you see SHIB Dream like drop in chat right now, it's pretty rare. And he, before the last few months was constantly on Telegram, constantly tweeting, constantly writing, news articles. It's hard to get a hold of him now.
I say that all the time too. When I'm interviewing other people, I'm like, this guy you used to be able to get a hold of every day 2 years ago. Now you can't. I was like, this guy right here is the same version of that, but just now. In 2 months, you're not going to be able to talk to this guy, but he's available right now. Build the relationship because it gets busy. Any advice or any reflection on the conversation so far, so we can close this out and not make it super long. I do want to talk about SHARBI right afterwards, but referring to LTD, any advice for dreamers? Any thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? I think we've seen just how much Dream gives back, and gives back to charity, gives back to the community, gives back to the people that support. I think there's a lot of opportunity for community to come in, find their own roles, find their own niche, share and spread LTD. I think one of the main goals for the team over the next week is going to be trying to branch out exposure outside of the SHIB realm a little bit more, because I do think, we have so much exposure inside the SHIB realm. There's, I actually have my Shiba Cows sweater on. Shiba Cows is a partner. And Canine Finance are partners. East Toronto is, and we just announced, hey, there you go. I love it. Canine Finance are partners, and East Toronto. We just announced, really big thing that we're title sponsors of East Toronto. There's going to be some huge surprises coming out around that. But really, join the community, support. You'll see that there's a special community rallying around, this project. And there's a good reason for it. It's because it's heart, right? This project is about heart. It is fully transparent. It is something, I feel like you can really believe in. And, I'm here to support in every way. And that's why, right? Because I think that, this is something and someone who really wants to do something good for crypto and do something good for SHIB Army because he cares. And so, to have that and to have someone that's doing that with this kind of platform is really special. And I'm, just excited to be a part of it.
Same here. I mean, I got involved in the project because of Shibicles. I've worked with them in the past, and Tony I know personally, and that's one of the major green flags for me for the project. They are a great bunch of people communicating with the team, the people who are in chat, the community themselves. They're dreamers. I mean, that's how I'd explain it. They really are. And my advice to the dreamers right now is to go buy 3 NFTs. Go buy 3 NFTs. If you haven't bought 3 NFTs and you want LTD in your wallet, go buy those right now. All right. So, yeah, we love it. We're living the dream.
I agree. I'm an NFT whale. I'm an NFT whale myself. That's why. That is actually why. I've never really been a big fan of NFTs, but these are tons of utility in these NFTs. But for me, it was the airdrops. It was the airdrops that sold me, and I'm like, oh, I need airdrops. So I bought a ton of NFTs, and the NFTs are going to. I mean, there's got to be a cutoff, at some point, because we're less than a week to launch. So if you're gonna get those NFTs, it's time to do it soon. And launch is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. There's some big surprises on launch day. I can't say anything more than that. There's big surprises on launch day, and there's plans to roll out things very quickly, especially leading into ETH Toronto. I think the timing is kind of perfect, right? We're mid-June, late June. We have July going into August with ETH Toronto, where we're title sponsors, where we have all this stuff. Like, I feel like the timing is really perfect to really not just spark living the dream, spark, K9 Finance, spark Shibarium. Like this whole, like, if you're not reading the writing on the walls with the timing of everything, you're missing some really big signs.
Yeah, and if you know the players in the game too, you know how this is going to work out, and that's one of the things we talked about as well. That's really cool. I see the setup, I see it all happening. I see every moving part here, and I'm like, yeah, that all makes sense. And I was going to ask you, it's a partnership with ETH Toronto, or it's just like you guys are working with them to promote your guys' project there, to promote LTD there, rather.
So LTD is a title sponsor. So it is a partnership with ETH Toronto Blockchain Futurists. Okay. He's also partnered, I think, with ETH Women. So basically all 3 that are putting on the conference. As part of this, there will be some really big highlights for Shib Dream. He's also a news partner for the conference. So we'll be putting out information on the conference, on the speakers. There's a lot of content going to be coming out, on all of this. But really, it's to drive more attention to the conference and to the project, right? So
are you guys going to drop
be some really special things there? What's that?
Are you going to drop your own cologne?
Oh, I don't know. It could happen. There's been some crazy ideas that have come out, and all of them. I'm like, hey, that could work, right?
I have an idea. We'll call it Dingleberry for men. All right. Yeah, no, that's fun. I did enjoy that portion of ETH Toronto last year, because I know the MSwap team was working tired, just day in and day out, to get some of the back end work done for them, so they could actually present what they were gonna drop. And then incoming cologne, I was like, that's not what I thought I was gonna see, but cool. Where do I get it?
Right.
So SHARBI, what's up, dude? Tell us a little bit about SHARBI, because I really do want to do a video on SHARBI next, and I hope you have the time to do that, because it would be really good for the community too. I'm sure everybody knows the information. I ask the questions just because there's people out here that don't know, new people all the time. So tell us about SHARBI.
All right. Well, SHARBI, I was in SHARBI at day one, but I was not a team member. In fact, none of the people that are in SHARBI now were the team members in day one. SHARBI was
Oh,
actually launched as a LARP, where they were pretended to be, have ties to Ryoshi, to Saitoshi. In fact, they actually, our dev at the time was using one of the names of one of the SHIB admins. And that was kind of how SHARBI really started to blow up. Right? Like it was kind of like this whole thing of all like this stuff around SHIB, right? And the whole idea was that SHARBI was going to launch on Shibarium and be one of the first projects to launch on Shibarium because we had these ties to SHIB, which weren't real. And back at that time, it was January 2023 when we launched. And at that time, the rumor was that on Valentine's Day, Shibarium was going to launch. So, it was obviously not right.
I remember that.
They were off by around 7 or 8 months, but but eventually, that was always our goal. So, a couple of months.
And that's folks. If you're cleaning house and you're a business and you're cleaning house, that's a good thing. So don't take this as a red flag. This is like a green flag for me. If you're cleaning up all the people who don't show up to work, that's
so this is like an evolutionary story. SHARBI, like we launched, it was this terrible logo, like like to our beautiful branding now, like it's all different, right? So we have definitely evolved since then. We have launched on 3 chains, 3 more chains. We are now on Ethereum. We were on Arbitrum and we've migrated to Ethereum and Shibarium. And in August of last year, the team basically completely left and really left us, kind of in the dust, right? Like left us with a project that we had this group of people that had gotten close through all the trauma that we had went through together. But because of that, we had to care for each other, right? Like we cared about each other. We cared about the project. And now we have this DAO that came together. We formed a legalized DAO. We've KYC'd. We've cleaned up the project completely and built. And now SHARBI is fully built around decentralization, about, working and networking with other people, about the spirit of DeFi. And really, it's just this beautiful story, right? Like at one point, we're going to make a crazy movie over all of this, because that's not like full details, right? Like that's a very highlighted overview, but we've formed our DAO and now we're in the strongest point we've ever been. But SHARBI has went to 40 million all-time high market caps. Right now, we're on 3 chains. We have multiple utilities. We have revenue share. We have a pay-to-hold system where it's like a tax that is on every buy and sell, where we paid out over $1 million in rewards to holders. Like SHARBI's legit and here for the long run, and we're building for Shibarium, but also our other chains, right? I think that Shibarium is our home, and it feels like home, and we've gotten amazing support from the SHIB community, from our partners in the SHIB community. And we're going to do some special things on Shibarium. And, it was very important to us to launch early on Shibarium and show other larger projects that, it was okay to migrate to Shibarium. Shibarium's ready for, larger projects to come over. And that was, one of our bigger goals. So we launched about a month after Shibarium launched. And immediately ran to like 2.5 million market cap, and I think right now we're sitting around 500,000. But Shibarium's just building, right? And that as well, and our biggest goal and where we see ourselves fitting into that Shibarium mold is we offer bone rewards. We have a great network within our partnerships, and we're going to build within those. And we want to offer a safe project. We want to be the queen of memes, the queen of Shibarium. And, I think that we're in a great lane to be able to do that.
Yeah, you'd make a perfect queen, I think.
I've been told that before.
I don't know what I'm thinking. The metaverse, I think we've all been like really on edge like about that, and like at the edge of our seats waiting for. I own so much land. You can look at my wallet. I'll share it. It's public. I have so much land. I had even spoken to the team, Marcy. I don't know if I should say her name. I spoke to the team about like billboards and advertising within, the metaverse too. Like I was getting ready to throw a year worth of payments at a few billboards, and the project still hasn't launched. I was like, okay, if I threw the money at it, it's like, okay, now my billboards are basically useless because nobody's viewing them. But what's your idea on the metaverse, and do you have any information on like how SHARBI will be utilizing it once it is in full effect?
I think that this actually really pairs really well with the LTD partnership. Because Ship Dream's focus, one of his main focuses is metaverse. He's got, an arrow worth of land that points to the Wagme Temple in the metaverse. And I know he's spending a ton of money and effort into building out Dream City in the metaverse. So I really believe that, so originally, SHARBI and Shiberium University was going to be a highlight of the Ship Dream metaverse. I believe Cypher University will be in the Ship Dream metaverse, but I do feel like this is actually a really good angle for where our partnership could lead. And again, this is all speculation. This is not, but I do know that SHARBI will have presence in the metaverse. Probably a pretty strong presence in the metaverse, but I do feel like, being along the living the dream, and I mean, being a part of that would be my biggest goal, because I know the efforts that are being put in. So having SHARBI being part of that would be something that would be amazing, and where I would see, us, really working to build and be part of.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I did look at some of the pictures of the metaverse that LTD is building. It looks really cool.
It's great.
Like a tram, like the same thing at Disneyland, and you can also charge the LTD fee to get around, whatever, stuff like that. It would be fun, dude. I mean, the way it looks right now versus the way it's going to turn out, the TBD, right? But I think the way these people work and the way they're building, it's going to be really cool and an experience. And that's, it seems like an all-in-one little mini city. Living the dream city. It's like the dream city.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it is. Absolutely. That's what it is. And there's, I know they're going to have a mall. He's got a castle. I've seen some pictures of the castle, like in the mock-ups, and oh my gosh, like the graphics are just insane. Definitely big plans. I think that, a lot of, these raises and the private sales and stuff are going towards, the metaverse build. So it's going to be really exciting to see, what can be done here. And I'm excited for it.
Same here. Any closing words, any information you want to give us about SHARBI, anything, just speak your mind, and we're going to close this out.
Awesome. So for SHARBI, our biggest thing right now is we just launched the SHARBI Dream Factory, SHARBIDreamFactory.com. As I said, SHARBI has had challenges. We've had struggles. We've had millions of dollars stolen from our project. We've had millions of dollars stolen from our project. And, 18 months later, or 17 months later, we're still here, so, we are resilient, and what we want to do is we want to bring a safe place for projects. So the SHARBI Dream Factory was built around that. And what it does is it connects projects to legit people, right? So you have consultants, you have developer work, you have lawyers for litigation or for DAO creation, you have auditors that are just amazing auditors that can get things done quickly at a good price, trending services, and then SHARBI has our own utility that we released about a month ago. It's our own volume booster bot on Solana. Really, basically all of this is set up to help projects grow, right? For market makers or someone, if you need connections and you don't know who to go to, don't back with somebody on Telegram that DM'd you, right? Like, that's a bad sign. That's not a good, the odds are they're not a direct contact, right? and again, I mean, we at one point last year were supposed to get listed on KuCoin. We went through months of back and forth with these people, identified them, and this was before the DAO took over, but it ended up being a $50,000 hit because it was fake. Like they really, and we built a bridge, and we spent $100,000 building a bridge, and then when we got it audited, it needed to be reworked some, and it was supposed to be with a very legit, great team, and so we have learned from mistakes, and we want to help projects not have that. And so that's what SHARBI Dream Factory is about. It's a full service thing. And then we also have revenue share for our projects from that. And within the first month, we've generated, almost 130 SOL in orders on our volume bot. And 40% of that is going back to it's awesome. 40% of that is going back to our holders in revenue share. 40% is going to the DAO for marketing and building more utility, and 10% is going back to buyback and burns on our chart. So SHARBI's, pay to hold. We're deflationary. The whole idea is to reward our holders from as many income streams as we can get coming in passively, and burn supply off as we build out. And so, it's a grind. It is something that will happen over time. But it is something where we are sporting over a 30% APR, and like for people that have that mindset of, hey, I want passive revenue in Bone and ETH and SOL, like that's awesome, right? A 30% APR, like that's where you want to park your money, right? So
I like staking.
That's what we're creating. And we're creating a whole ecosystem around it. And I think if you see, like, we're KYC'd, we're legalized, SHARBI's trademarked. We want to do so many things, and all it's really, the only limitations are time and money at this point, because we're working our butts off to make sure that SHARBI is going to be the queen of memes, and the biggest female meme coin in the history of crypto. That is our goal.
That's funny. That's cool, man. Like, I love that information. And people don't going back to the beginning of your statement when you were talking about how you guys were working with lawyers, being within regulation for SEC and stuff like that. Just taking those steps. People don't realize that's some of the most valuable information you put out too. Not to mention the stuff that you're already working on and have built, and the mess you had to clean up that somebody else made. But what you said in the beginning, where you started out building for that community, is very important. That's a long-term business. They're taking moves to make sure that this business, SHARBI, the collection, the community, actually has a future. If people are thinking about that after they take your money, then you're already in the wrong place. So SHARBI is somewhere you need to be, just based on this conversation. We're going to do a review later on this, but like, I like it, and just what you've said about the SHARBI community and what you guys are doing behind the scenes, it's very important, and I think that is one of the things that people should be paying attention more to is how you're building the business rather than what you're delivering to them. And it sounds like you're delivering plenty, so they're not worried about that either.
I get in trouble all the time. They're like, Hero, Billy, you gotta stop. Like, you're just too many pins. Like, you're delivering. We gotta like stagger this out because things are getting hidden, and that's it, right? Last week we burned $25,000 worth of SHARBI, and like it got hidden. It got hidden within all of the other stuff going on. But like we're just doing a lot. We're doing a lot, but our community deserves what we're doing, right? Like our community has been through so much. They've been through so much together. They've rolled through so many like terrible news deliveries of hey, like like
Grifters.
our contract got hacked. Like,
Oh yeah.
they weren't really hacked, but the original developers had access to the keys. So even though the
Yeah.
contracts were announced, they were able to like pull some of the liquidity and sell it on the chart.
Oh my God.
And so this happened, and that's why we had to migrate off of like all these things have happened, and our communities rolled through it. And if you go in there, you'll find one of the most welcoming, loving communities you'll ever see. And I think, like for me, we're working 12, 15 hours a day because of that community. And I want to see that community win, more than I want for myself, right? At this point, like, it really is. It really is about that. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, people say a lot of things, but I really see the conviction there. And when you put community over yourself, you have an idea of the bigger picture. So congratulations on what you've built and what you guys have come from. We're going to do another video on SHARBI because I really want to dive into this. There's a lot of information that we need to go over for sure. Dreamers, thank you for being here. Go ahead.
Sorry. We have a new website and a new book being released very soon. The Git book will be amazing for a YouTube review. Like, the Git book is going to be one of the best Git books you'll ever see. It's so good. We're reviewing it now, so I'll send it.
Yeah, please, dude. Yeah, I'll go over it and we'll get that cracking.
Oh.
But yeah, Dreamers, we're gonna close this out. We're almost 45 minutes into it. Thank you very much for being here. Love you all. The community's vibing out right now. We're all living the dream. And thank you for being here, Billy. Like, it was a pleasure. Great conversation. I didn't think this was gonna go that long, but it was a great conversation. So thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.